Coloring with Greg. ASMR. Hello, everybody. This is Coloring with Greg. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, welcome back. I haven't made a video in a while, and so I'm going to make one now. This is coming from the Smart Coloring Books, Nature Landscape, Escapes, Forests, Waterfalls, and More. And today we're going to do this one right here. Take this marker out of here. Set it over here. We're going to do this one right here. I don't know what to call this. It kind of, to me, looks a little bit like the Grand Canyon, although the Grand Canyon would have maybe a wall over here, but we'll call it the Grand Canyon. And the reason we'll call it the Grand Canyon is because I have stories about the Grand Canyon, believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe, right? So let's get right into this. We'll start coloring. As you know, my last video I made, I organized my coloring holder, and I organized all my colors according to the way that the back of the box lined up with the coloring, and so those are all organized and ready to go for this one. I did add a pencil to my pencils because this obviously would be a good color of shading if I needed to, and I have my trusty sharpener with me just in case we need it. All right, let's go, and let's start with these rocks down here. So I'm going to do a gray. Let's see here. Oops, excuse me, guys. Let's see. Let's do a gray, a light gray. Let's see here. I still haven't found my my green color that I misplaced. My jade green. I must have lost it somewhere, and I don't know where it went. So that one is mysteriously gone. So let's see here. Let me pull this one out. Here's our cool gray. I'll start doing some of the, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with a darker gray for that. If I can pull it out here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do a darker gray on these rocks. So, but I need to sharpen it. That's why we have the sharpener here. Used a lot of gray on the last one. Let's see. Whoa, that's pretty good. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're starting this one off here. Doing these rocks. Let's see. Getting these guys in here. Let's see. So when I said I had some stories about the Grand Canyon, I do. So I've been to the Grand Canyon, let's see, 3 or 4 times in my life, and all on different kind of occasions. The first time I went to the Grand Canyon, I was 17 years old, and I hiked the Grand Canyon. We started on the South Rim, and I was in the Boy Scouts, and we went on a lot of hikes, and I was pretty fit, and I was in high school, and we had a trip to the Grand Canyon. I'd never been to the Grand Canyon before that, and it was very, very exciting. I remember we arrived the night before our hike. Actually, we had a day off. We arrived that evening, and it was at nighttime, so we couldn't see the the canyon. And we made camp near the area, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just a big canyon hole, which it is. You don't see anything until you get on it. So I was really, really curious and excited. We camped that night, and then we had a full day off the next day to kind of explore and to go look at things. And so we went and looked at the canyon from the viewpoints that they have set up, and we were totally in awe of what we saw. And then the next day, we started our hike into the canyon. And going down into the canyon's really difficult. It's hard on your legs. And I also well, we didn't know we knew kind of the dangers, but when you're 17 and no one really tells you what the dangers are, you don't think about them. But we had plenty of water, and we had food and rations and all kinds of stuff and camping gear, and we just stuck to the trail. One of the things that people don't really tell you about is the donkeys or the burros that go down there. So the first day we were on Bright Angel Trail, and we were heading down to Phantom Ranch, which is the first stop, and it's at the bottom of the canyon. And it's where people take the burros or the donkeys from the top down to Phantom Ranch to camp, and go from there. And some of the parts of the trail were very narrow trail, and we had to kind of make way for the donkeys. And it's not too bad for us because we're on the upside of the trail and not on the side where it's the drop off. But the people on the donkeys get a little upset and weary, but no donkey has ever fallen off. Only people have fallen off the donkeys and fallen to their deaths. So there was no what you might say danger in anybody getting hurt, really. Actually, they've said that no donkey has actually fallen off. So anyway, so the first day we hiked down to the bottom, and we made camp at Phantom Ranch. And not to spend too much time on this story, but being 17 and everything, it was quite an adventure. And it was during our spring break from school. It was in April, and it was really exciting and fun. And we were with some good people and good friends. And so we hiked the whole hike took place in like a week's time. We hiked to the bottom, then we hiked across, and then we got to the base of the North Rim, and we made camp there for 2 nights. And we did a day hike from the bottom of the North Rim to the top of the North Rim because the North Rim was closed on the other side due to the winter and stuff. Let me see here. What is that? Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing the gray due to the winter. And but we hiked it, and on the way up it was kind of cool because during the winter time rocks had fallen in the middle of the trail, so we were with I guess you could say a guide, not a guide, but someone we knew that was trained in like camping and hiking and stuff, and he was saying that it was okay to drop these big boulders down the side of these 1,000-foot drops that we were next to. So it was really, really cool dropping these big boulders down the middle of these canyons and watching them go explode down the canyon. Of course, there was nobody below us and anything, so it was no one was going to get hurt. And then we saw a bunch of bighorn ram, and we saw some snakes and all kinds of cool stuff you'd find on a trail, an uninhabited trail. So we found all those things, and we hiked up to the top, and there was snow up there, and it was really neat. And I guess they open up that side of the Grand Canyon rim, the North Rim, during the summer when there's no snow and it's easier accessed. So that's actually looking pretty good so far. So we had a really good time doing that. And then of course we came down. The other side. We came back down off the North Rim down to the camp, and we camped one more night. And then we proceeded to go back across. The last day was a really tough day because we had about 11 miles to hike. Now to some people that's not much, but when you had a full pack on and you've been camping and you're a little tired, it can be a lot, but also I was 17 too, so it wasn't that bad. It was a lot of fun. I'll never forget that experience. But it wasn't the only time I've been to the Grand Canyon. And I'll get to those other times. Actually, I just remembered. Yeah, I have a steep history in Grand Canyon visits and stuff in a bunch of different capacities. But the first time I went, I hiked it. And like I said, I'll never forget that part of my life. It was really, really interesting. And, well, let's see here. That's looking pretty good. Let's see, does the rock go down this far? Is it the slab? Maybe this is the other, this is one of the rims, and that's the other rim. Actually, in all factuality, I don't know if that's a word or not, the south rim is lower than the north rim. So, it's not equal. It's not like, the south rim is the same height as the north rim. The north rim is higher. I don't know how much by, but I know it's higher. I think this is all rock. That we're going to color in. I'm going to shade it in because I think it's perfect for that. And this tree kind of lives in a little rocky area. So, I'm trying not to rumble too much. I'm shaking a little bit. I'm not shaking, but the desk's shaking. I'm coloring too aggressively. So, we hiked it, and I'll tell you something, when you're young, when you're in your teens and you're doing things like that, I had hiked the Sierras with my dad and the Scouts when I was a little bit younger, I believe. And when you finish a hike like that, you feel very, very accomplished. And it's not that you think you can't make it. It's just that it's a big responsibility to put on somebody to say, no one's going to carry you out. The only way you're going to get out of this is by walking out yourself with all your stuff on your back. And, I guess in a weird way, it's not that scary. But it could be, because it's a daunting thing to do, and it could be scary for somebody, I guess. So, let's see here. Let me move these up. A little bit. But, it's a good character builder, and it really helps in, confidence and stuff like that, and accomplishing something that you didn't think you could do. Okay, let's be careful around these trees right here, because we want to color those in to get the contrast. But yeah, the Grand Canyon is beautiful. I've been on a lot of hikes and stuff like the Sierra Nevadas and stuff, and San Bernardino Mountains, and I've seen some beautiful places to hike and Grand Canyon is just amazing. Just so beautiful. It's an amazing thing to see. And, and then again, like I was saying, I have a fascination with the Grand Canyon since I've hiked it and I've been there many times. And I got this book called Death in the Grand Canyon. It talks about all the people who've fallen into the Grand Canyon and died in near misses. And it can be a very dangerous place to be if you're not careful. And it's not just people falling in. It's people getting dehydrated and heat stroke and and all that stuff. Could I hike it now? I don't think I could. I'd have to train and I'd have to get back into shape. And, quite honestly, I don't know if I really want to. It ties into it very well. It's very good foreshadowing. So I hiked it when I was 17, from rim to rim, with a group of great people. And memories I will never forget. And we made it, and we did a great job. Now, there was another group of Boy Scouts that were with us that weren't as advanced, and they only did a small hike to a certain spot and came back. But we were the ones that actually went deep into the canyon, all the way across and up the other side and back. And to think how vast and big the whole thing is it's very impressive to think that we were able to do that kind of thing. So I'm pretty happy that I was able to do it. So the next time I went was many years later, with a friend of mine that's still a friend of mine right now. And we just decided to go to the Grand Canyon. And we were just gonna go there to look and hang out and not camp. Matter of fact, not only did we not camp, we stayed in a hotel near the Grand Canyon. It was during the winter time and it was cold. And at the time we were into playing tennis and stuff. And we went to the Grand Canyon and I was still pretty young and athletic. And we brought our tennis rackets with us, thinking that we'd play tennis at the Grand Canyon Hotel. And their tennis courts didn't have nets on them. And they said they would put them up, but they didn't. So we ended up playing, hitting tennis balls in the parking lot. Nowadays, we would have just gone there and said, nah. We were fanatics about tennis. So my friend and I, we went in there and we got a hotel room, and we during the day we would go out and look at go in the park and go to the different sites at the Grand Canyon and look. And it was a lot of fun. And we went off on some other beaten paths and went to the edge of the canyon where there weren't rails and stuff. And we actually did some stuff that could have been very dangerous. It was snowing and all that stuff. And matter of fact, actually, the Bright Angel Trail, the trail that we had finished, actually the Bright Angel Trail is where we had finished, I believe. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's the same place we started and finished the first time around when I was younger. So we went to the Bright Angel Trail, and it was snowy and freezing, and it had their sign saying, go down this with on your own risk, because if you slip and slide down that trail and you slide off the trail and you fall to your death, that's your problem. So we opted not to go down there, and probably for the best of not going down there. So, but we went to other places near the Grand Canyon. I wouldn't advise this, but we went to some other spots where there was no railings and no trails, and kind of filmed and hung out and looked and took pictures and did all kinds of things where there's basically no rails or anything. So we did that. Well, there we go. There we have sort of the foreground rock formations colored in. I think we're gonna go lay off on the gray right now. Let's see here. Put those pencils to the side. Maybe we'll use them again. Now we're gonna look for some browns for the. Let's see where the browns are. Let's see. Find some browns for the tree. Actually, let's see. Wish I had my Jake green with me, but I'll just do some green, blue green, yellow green. We'll just do green. Do some more green down here. So we were able to go to the hotel at the Grand Canyon, the big, nice big hotel that was on there. We didn't stay at the hotel, but there's this hotel that's on the rim. It's a lodge, and it's where like the scene from it's a scene in like National Lampoon's Vacation, where they stop and they look at the Grand Canyon for 2 seconds. That's the lodge. Matter of fact, we stood right there. I thought it was really cool that that's where like the family truckster was parked. So we went there for breakfast and it was fun, and we just kind of like he's my best friend, and we were just kind of just chilling out and having some fun and doing some things and just enjoying being friends and going to the Grand Canyon. And of course we went out to different restaurants in the area and stuff. It was a lot of fun. We were there for about, say, 2 days, 2 or 3 days, I can't remember. We were there for a little while. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. So that was the second time I went to the Grand Canyon. And we just had a lot of fun doing that. Oh, look at this. So I'm hoping you guys are relaxing and enjoying this video. Like I said, welcome back, and I apologize for not making more videos sooner. I've had a lot of things going on, and trying to my sleep schedule's been a little bit weird and different, and so I'm glad I'm back doing this again, making another video for the channel. I'm really trying to develop my channel and putting some videos up and getting things going with it. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this and relaxing and sleeping and getting some tingles out of the whole thing. And like everyone always says, if you like, please hit that subscribe button and like. It helps me out, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when my new videos pop up and all that good stuff, and go from there. I have some exciting stuff coming soon, some really cool pictures I'm gonna color for you. And let's see, it looks like this is like the stem. It looks like I didn't color in all the rocks all the way. I'm not sure what I just did here. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, I'm gonna put some. Okay, that's good. Let's get these over here. So I have some ideas. So I think I talked about this before, but there's an app that I use to create pictures that turns pictures into this kind of stuff. It turns it into a palette for coloring. And I'm thinking about designing and building and making my own coloring books. So that's something that I'm thinking about in the near future. Also, I'm going to start exploring with different coloring palettes, like pastels and stuff, things that you can blend and go from there. So I'm thinking about doing that kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of neat little things I'm thinking about doing. Like I said, I'm not an artist, and I'm not saying that because I don't want to be an artist. I do want to be an artist, to a certain point, but I'm starting to enjoy this a lot, and I think that I can really do something with it and have a lot of fun. But on the other end, but also create some interesting looking colors and colorings and go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and do these trees while I'm at it to kind of fill this little area in. But I'm having a great time doing what I'm doing right now, and I live in an area of the world right now where there's such beautiful, 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 beautiful areas to take beautiful photos, to create a beautiful landscape, a beautiful landscaping kind of coloring book. And I'd like to do that very much. Well, that's looking really nice. I'm really liking that. If you guys can see. I'm trying not to shake too much. I don't know what's... sorry, guys. There's always some kind of like weird noise that's being generated when I color. I apologize for that. It's like kind of like tapping. Maybe I'm coloring too hard. Actually, I'm really liking this green color in these tree line. But that's the thing about the Grand Canyon. And again, like, I don't know if this is really the Grand Canyon. We'll just call it the Grand Canyon because it looks kind of like the Grand Canyon. But going back to the Grand Canyon. So I went there the second time with my good friend when we were in our 20s. And it was great to go back there and think about when I hiked it and all that good stuff. So I didn't get a chance to go back to the Grand Canyon until I was a lot older, and I won't go down the line of how old I was, but at the time I was living in Las Vegas, and before I was living in San Diego. Now I was living in Las Vegas, and I have, for some crazy odd reason, I had roommates and friends that were all pilots and airline pilots and stuff. And this particular roommate worked at an airline in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas Airport, that was a charter to the Grand Canyon, meaning that they flew tourists to the Grand Canyon for the day. And they got onto, like, they would fly you to the Grand Canyon, and you would get on a bus from the small airport that's up there. This was like fixed wing jet, turboprop jets, and they also had just regular twin engine prop, smaller aircraft, which I went on both. Actually, my roommate was the pilot for a couple times when I went. So, because I got to go, like, I think 3 times. Now, here's the cool thing about it. For most people that took that tour, it was like about $350. And you'd get on a flight, and you would, yeah, I guess I'll do this while we're at it. You'd get on a flight, and you would fly to the Grand Canyon, get on a bus, they'd give you a lunch. They'd give you like a box lunch. And you would be taken to a bunch of different sites on the Grand Canyon rim, on the south rim. So they would take you to this one area, and they'd let you go there for like 45 minutes. And they'd take you to another area, and you'd go in there for like 45 minutes or so, or an hour. And then they would take you by an area where there was a gift shop. And then they would put everybody back on the bus and bring them back to the airport, and they would fly them back to Las Vegas. And the flight, you'd have to be there around maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And by noon, you'd be back in Vegas, having had a trip to the Grand Canyon with a full guided tour and a lunch and memories and pictures, and it was really, really cool. The great thing for me is that because I knew the pilot, because they had privileges, I was able to go on that trip for $20 and not $350. So to me, it was like it was just a $20 to go and do something that cost $350. It's pretty darn good. So I went a couple times. Actually, I went quite a few times. I actually went with some friends. I got some friends some tickets, and I didn't even go. They wanted to go, and I couldn't go, so I got them tickets. I got some tickets, and I went one time for my birthday. And then I went once by myself, and I went with a friend. And it was so much fun to go. The box lunches were good. They had a really cool tour guide that told us about the Grand Canyon and told us about different things about the Grand Canyon that we didn't know. And it was really, really informative and fun, and everything was great. One of the things that I didn't know was remember I was talking about the donkeys that would come down the trail when we were hiking. Waiting list for the donkeys was 2 years. Can you believe it? 2 whole years to go book your vacation to ride the donkeys down to the Phantom Ranch thing. That's insane. I mean, who knows what you're doing in 2 years? I don't know what I'm doing in 2 years, let alone tomorrow or the next week. That's a long time to have to book your trip. Anyway, that's what it was. So, all right, let's see here. Oops, there goes my stomach. My stomach always growls when I'm trying to do these videos. Let's see. We're gonna look for a brown. I'm looking for my browns here. Let's see. Get my browns out here. There's my brown. Okay. So we're gonna do the tree trunk here. We're gonna make it brown. Gosh, I'm like making a bunch of noise here. Sorry, guys. When you do ASMR, everything makes a noise. I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm pressing down too hard. That didn't. Okay, never mind. See, that's why, but if I was coloring with pastels, I could probably blend this in a lot better, but just don't mind that too much. I don't know how that got pressed down and got so dark all of a sudden. Forging through. Get a picture of my arms. So I don't really, the last couple videos were an hour and one was an hour and a half, and it looks like the hour mark is the magic number or time to get a video. The best time to have a video. An hour and a half is a long time, and I understand that for those who are trying to relax and sleep and they don't want to have to keep re-looping and resetting their video, it helps, but it seems like an hour is a little bit too long. So an hour and a half is too long. An hour seems to be just the right length. So, but I generally tend to just go as long as I have to go to finish up an art page. This is gonna take me all the way up into these branches up here. It's starting to look pretty good. I don't know what was going on down below here. It just seemed to really, really get dark. But that's okay. We can deal with that. Because this tree lives right here, and that's what trees do. They live. Okay, so let's finish this up. So we have the tree here. I think I need to put some more gray, dark gray in there. The back of that. Enhance this a little bit better. Actually, I need to fill some gray in here. Between the bushes. Give it that effect. I think that's gonna work. Fill brown in a little bit. Some tree stems. Kind of messy. Yeah, that's okay. We can get some brown in there, some brush, and some craziness in there. Get some brown stems in here. Why not, right? Again, like I was saying before, this is all an interpretation. This is all you coloring and enjoying yourself and coloring the world as you see it. And if it doesn't make any sense, then, you know, what are you supposed to do? It is what it is, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and there's no rules. That's what makes it exciting and fun. Gosh, my stomach is really going crazy. Sorry, guys. And I did eat, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Alright, guys, look how far we've gotten so far. This is looking pretty good. Now, I'm not quite 100% sure what's going on in this little valley here. Maybe it's another set of bushes, or maybe it's clouds. But we know that this little area back here is going to be kind of a lighter gray because we're kind of farther away from it. So we're going to do a lighter gray on it. Let's see what happens with that. I think I kind of like that. I'm going to go this way on it. Okay, so I mentioned the first 2 visits to the Grand Canyon. So, I mentioned the first 3 visits to the Grand Canyon. The first one was I hiked it. The second one was with my best friend, and the third one was my trips out there with my friend being a pilot for that airlines. So the tours are basically the same. You get a lunch, you go on a tour bus, they tell you trivia about the Grand Canyon, and we got to see a moose in the sitting in the town on someone's lawn as we drove through the town area. That was really kind of neat. I'd never seen a moose, even though I live in an area where there's possible moose sightings. And I didn't mention this before, but there's in the national park. As you go in the national park, there's restaurants and cafes and places to eat. Now, I haven't been there in a while in that area, so I'm not sure if it's still there, but they had an IMAX movie theater. And actually, we went there when I was with my friend the second time I went to go see the movie, and it was really cool. So, we're getting ready. I don't remember which time this was. I don't know if it was the last time I went on the airplane tour, or it was I can't remember what trip it was. I think it was the last time I had gone. We're gonna do this like this. The last time I had gone, we were at the airport getting ready to go back, and they had us in 2 groups. And one group was on one flight, one group was on another. And it turned out that our plane, for some reason, was having either a technical difficulty or something, and it was delaying our flight back to Vegas. And so instead of them making us wait in the terminal, they took us all to the movie theater and let us watch the IMAX movie for free. And then we got back on the bus and went back to the airport, and our plane was ready, and they took us back to Vegas. or whatever the case was. They never really said what had happened, but we got back on a plane, and matter of fact, actually the plane we flew back on was my roommate flying the plane. He was the main pilot, captain, I guess. So it was really kind of an interesting, fun day, and I was with a friend too, so it was pretty fun. So we got to go see the IMAX movie, and I think it was the same movie that we had seen when I was there before. I don't think they changed it, but it was a really good movie, and it was an IMAX, and that was a lot of fun. And that was like so at that time, I think I had gone on that thing 3 times, so let's see, I hiked it with my friend, and 3 times. That was the 5th time I'd been to the Grand Canyon. So it was a lot of fun doing all that kind of stuff. I think this light gray is working as the background. I have to sharpen this again. Get this going here. Okay. So now you may be wondering, well, does he have any more stories of the Grand Canyon? I do. So I'm still in Las Vegas, and for those who don't know, you'll know now. I went to film school, and I got a degree. I got a job at a wedding chapel in Las Vegas, and after a few years of working there, I was put on I was a pretty good videographer, and they needed somebody to do special moment videos. And one of the things that they do is they have helicopter flights out to the Grand Canyon to do wedding videos. Now, I never, at this point in time, I thought to myself, I'm never probably going to go back to the Grand Canyon because I can't afford to pay $350 because my roommate had moved on to flying for another company somewhere, and he wasn't with the company anymore, so I couldn't afford to go on those flights anymore and go back to the Grand Canyon like that. And I didn't have any aspirations to drive to the Grand Canyon, so I didn't really think that I would be going into the Grand Canyon or going to the Grand Canyon anytime too soon. So, and let alone going in the canyon, you know. So, with this company, I was able to go to the Grand Canyon, and I did 2 flights out to the Grand Canyon on a helicopter to shoot wedding videos. And so what they do is they fly into an Indian reservation that allows them to land inside the Grand Canyon. And that was a blast. That was amazing. And I never expected to be able to do that. It was amazing. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna work on the clouds. Let's see, what do we want to do? We want to do turquoise clouds. I'm gonna do some turquoise. Give the clouds a little bit of wispy. And then we'll put some white in there. I may even leave the backgrounds a little bit white. It's kind of funky clouds. Gonna give them a little bit of let them stand out a little bit, maybe. Kind of make them a little bit wispy. Okay, guys. If you notice, there's been periodic fade-ins and fade-outs. It's because my camera, for some reason, I don't know why, decides it doesn't want to run continuously. So bear with me on that, guys. So I apologize. Okay, but we're not too far away from wrapping up this actual page. I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy in the backgrounds. I think I'm gonna give the clouds a little bit of turquoise in there. Give it a little different color. But we need to figure out what we're gonna do with this area right here. Now, we have green and we don't want to have to blend it in with the background, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know. That's a good question. You guys dial in and tell me what you want. Now, I think maybe I might, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to think. That looks like it's trees of some sort. So maybe I will make it some kind of a light green. See, that's where the jade green would have been perfect. Let's see, maybe an orange green or let's see, what do we have here? Oh, I don't know if lime green would be perfect for that. Let's see, what else do we have here that would work? Let's see. We do have a yellow green. Let's see how that looks in there. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I think we're gonna go with the yellow green. It's kind of like a tree. It's like kind of a more dense forest area in there. Let's see. Kind of a yellow green. Again, like I said before, I don't know if this is necessarily has to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that doesn't look right. I don't know. It kind of looks like I think it is trees and tree line. It kind of looks cloudy, but I don't think that's clouds. I think this is something else. And this is a yellow green, so that's fine. I don't want it to blend in with the green that we have already with the trees up here, because I kind of like that the way it is. So yeah, so I basically went to the Grand Canyon with the wedding chapel to film 2 weddings, and it was a blast flying in a helicopter out of Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon to film and to fly. And this is another thing too. I always had the understanding that you couldn't fly a helicopter below the rim for safety reasons. Well, I was wrong. We flew below the rim, and let me tell you something. That was some spectacular flying inside the below the rim, and it was really good. It was really cool to do that, and I got to do that twice. And I never thought in a million years that I'd ever go back into the Grand Canyon under the rim. I thought I'd only be a spectator from the rim looking in, but I got to go twice more. And those days of doing all that was a big adventure too. Filming and editing and taking a trip. One particular trip we rode an Uber to the airport. Sorry for the shaking there. We rode an Uber to the airport, and then we rode a limousine. We got to the airport, we rode a helicopter into the Grand Canyon, then we rode a limousine, then we rode a party bus, then we rode a taxi. Alright, so we have this part done already. So we're getting very close to finishing this masterpiece, as you can see. I hope you're liking everything that you're seeing here. Gives it a little bit of a contrast. But what am I going to do with this back here? Is that maybe a brown? I think I might make that a brown. I don't know if this is a good color for this back here, but we'll give it a shot. We'll do it very lightly. Don't know what we're dealing maybe we'll shade it with something else too. Maybe it's a very light shade of brown. That looks like it's working pretty good. Well, alright guys, there it is. There's the Grand Canyon setting that I decided to color today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and bear with me on the technical issues and such. Please remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification button, that little bell, and also like the video. It helps me get more viewers, and I can continue with this channel more. Again, thank you guys so much for visiting, watching. I hope you get some good tingles and some good ASMR rest. Once again, I'm Greg, and this is Coloring with Greg ASMR. Have a good evening.